I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Yeah, just bopping my head to the intro, man. I love that beat. Welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast. This is the Coffee Talk Cultural Variety Podcast show, and I am your host, MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. How y'all doing today? I'm excited. I'm excited just because it's Friday, nothing more, nothing less. Hey, but it's the end of the weekend, man. I know everybody's been doing a lot of work, probably continually doing work 7 days a week, man. And you know, sometimes you just gotta take a breather, man. You know what I'm saying? A timeout. So Friday is y'all's timeout. And if you're driving on your way home tonight, be safe as you get home. And when you get home, go ahead and pour you some coffee, a cappuccino, some wine, a smoothie, some water, whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to enjoy yourself as you get ready to go home. And if you're already at home, man, just, you know what, come on in, kick your feet up, relax and chill, and welcome to our show. This is Coffee Talk Podcast. But listen, we got a great show for you today. The show we got for today is about Deshaun Watkins. As you can see, he's in the background there with his beautiful mother. And sometime back in December, I did a show on our Sports Wednesday nights about Deshaun Watson and what he was going through as far as his allegations. There's 20 out of the blue allegations of sexual assault with 20 women. We're going to definitely talk about that tonight. We're going to expose a lot of stuff. So I'm just happy to have y'all here. That is what our show is going to be about. It's going to be about Deshaun Watson. We're going to talk a little bit about the Houston Texans, the owner, Bob McNair. And yeah, we will say rest in peace or because he is deceased. You know, we don't wish nothing on nobody. But we're going to talk about Bob McNair. And if you know Flavor, Coffee Talk Flavor, we're going to talk about Bob McNair. So we're going to definitely discuss him anyway. He's the owner of the Houston Texans. It's now owned by his son, Cal McNair. We're going to talk about the McNair family, and we're going to discuss that with our guy, how it's pertaining to Deshaun Watson. But again, welcome to the show, Coffee Talk Podcast. Thank you to our viewers that are watching our show and that is supporting our show and continues to support our show. You are so much appreciated. We see you, definitely. All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Deshaun, I'm sorry. Somebody just told me, we never start the show. If you follow Coffee Talk Podcast, we never start the show without giving it its flavor, right? So we're going to give it its flavor and its wise words as we get ready to start the show. So check it. Today's flavor is Kenya coffee. Why Kenya coffee? Because Kenya coffee has a vibrant taste. It's often described as lemony. Kenyan coffee is regarded as one of the highest quality coffees. So if you ever get a chance to get some Kenyan coffee, definitely get that flavor right there. Now, our wise words for today, which is also our flavor, is this. People will try to describe you as something you're not. Protect your peace by protecting your character and your integrity. They just waiting to say, I told you so. That's the wise words today of Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Again, we're talking about Deshaun Watson. And he came out today. He had a press conference because he has finally got picked up by a team. He got picked up by the Cleveland Browns. And it was a whopping 5-year, $230 million guarantee. And I'm happy for him. But I want you to remember that number because we're going to go back to that as we discuss what we're going to discuss about all the trials and tribulations that he had to go through. All right, because we definitely giving our shouts out to our boy Deshaun Watkins and his family. But yeah, he got He got blessed, man, with a 5-year deal to go to the Cleveland Browns for $230 million guaranteed. Now, let me tell you something. This dude was cold, man. He was cold, going to Pro Bowls and everything like, what, 3 years ago? We're going to take out the 2 COVID years, right? So right before COVID started, this was the top dog in football. He was the 1 or 2 top quarterbacks outside of Tom Brady. You know, I don't like Tom Brady, but whatever. But he was a 1 through 3 top quarterback in the league. You can rank him anywhere you want to rank him. And then some things happened with him and the team. So let's go ahead and discuss it. Give me a second here. Okay. So what happened is several years ago, right? Deshaun Watson, actually it was 14 months ago, Deshaun Watson asked to be traded. He no longer wanted to play for the team. It was a shocker at the time because his Texans was playing good football. You know, they was bringing in, the ticket sales was good. He's a star. He's a stud. Everything was going good. And then all of a sudden he decided he wanted to get traded. But there's more to it. Let me tell you what happened here. So owner Bob McNair of the Houston Texans, right? Bob McNair, when the Colin Kaepernick stuff was going on, right? And Colin Kaepernick was in the news and all this. Bob Lanier was one of the guys, football owners that did not like Kaepernick, didn't like what he was standing for and all that. Let's talk about Bob Lanier, shall we? It was October 28th, 2017, when Bob McNair, owner of the Houston Texans, apologized for saying the NFL can't have inmates running the prison. I'll say it again. The owner of the team came out and said he apologizes for saying that the NFL cannot have the inmates running the prison. Those were his words. The comment came during a meeting that didn't include players. You know how they be in the meetings, right? When the doors closed, you know, ain't no cameras. So McNair then turns around and states that he should have never apologized. So let's read some more. When Bob McNair has stated that the NFL cannot have inmates running the prison, Seattle Seahawks cornerback and San Francisco 49ers cornerback Richard Sherman had comments and responded and said, hey, he said he's grateful for people like that. He said, because people like that, they show you who they are. And that's all Richard Sherman said. He's grateful that people that have this distaste for people are around, man, because you get to know who they are. You ain't got to go look for them. You like that shit right up front. You don't like me, let me know, you know. All right. So Texans Bob McNair said this week that he regrets apologizing in October for, let me back up, y'all, and I do apologize. This is according to the Defender News Service back on April 5th, 2018. Okay, let's go ahead now. Texas owner Bob McNair said this week that he regrets apologizing in October for his can't have the inmates running the prison comment that created controversy in Houston and around the NFL. McNair reiterated in a Wall Street Journal story Thursday what he said at the time, that he was talking about the league office and not the players and their protests during the national anthem. The main thing I regret is apologizing, Mr. McNair stated. McNair told the Wall Street Journal in an interview he did in March that was published Thursday, I really didn't have anything to apologize for. ESPN, the magazine, quoting an anonymous source, said McNair was talking about players when he told the owners at a meeting in New York, we can't have the inmates running the prison. McNair apologized twice at the time and said he was talking about the league office in New York, where he thought some executives, rather than the owners, were acting like they ran the NFL. We were talking about a number of things, but we were also washing some of our dirty linen, which you do internally, McNair told the Journal. You don't do that publicly. That's what I was addressing, the relationship of owners and the league. Interesting. Well, let's go ahead and talk more of the allegations about Bob McNair and also Cal McNair. It's been whispered in pro football circles that McNair prefers white quarterbacks to black ones. If true, that would explain his apparent outrage over Kaepernick's protest of social justice for black people in America and its lasting effect on the league, which is about 70% black. The quarterback position has typically been occupied by white players. I want to stop right there. And I want to talk about our brother, Deshaun Watson, quarterback during this whole turmoil for the Houston Texans. When this started to develop, Deshaun Watson wanted out of there. He no longer wanted to be the quarterback. But I'm going to tell you about them Proud Boys in Texas. Okay. A star football player coming out saying, I don't want to be on this team no more, is like an embarrassment to them. They don't play that. They don't like to be embarrassed. So all of a sudden, after Deshaun Watson states he wants to be traded, now all of a sudden, the sexual allegations pop up on this young man. 20 women at massage parlors. And what's crazy about the situation is you never seen these 20 women. They've never come forward. They talking about his name is all in the news, courts and all this crap. But I'm gonna tell you what I saw outside of the technology. I saw that they was trying to deface this player. They wanted to make a mockery of this young man because he didn't want to be on their team no more. And them Proud Boys in Texas, they own everything from ownership to teams to the courts to everything. McNair family didn't like that. They didn't like that young man wanted to move on. So what they do with that young man, sat there, they benched him. They benched him. You might as well say 2 seasons because he didn't play nothing last year. He didn't play nothing this year. Because he outspoke, had pride, no longer want to deal with their BS. They want to make an example out of it. And that's what they do in this game. They try to make people go against you. And some of the craziest things is our people always turn our backs on our athletes, on our heroes, on our kids and children that are playing in these professional sports. Yeah, this is the type of stuff we talk about on Wednesdays on Coffee Talk Podcast Sports Edition. But I wanted to talk about it tonight because Deshaun Watson had his press conference. So let's talk about what Deshaun Watson said during his press conference that is going to make more sense to what I'm talking about here. Deshaun Watson said to the Cleveland press and the fan base there that just gave him a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed deal. That young man responded and said, I never done the things people are alleging. I believe that young man. He can't go and say what I'm saying right now that them people are picking on him. They got endorsements. You know, they can deface you, destroy your image. So he can't come out and say that. But we got the tea. Ain't that the word y'all use? We got all the tea, and we're going to give it to you. That's another Part of the flavor tonight. But Deshaun Watson said, I've never done the things people are alleging to me. So I want to ask y'all tonight, Coffee Talk viewers, you don't get to be an NFL owner, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't got no money. Do you think a billionaire owner would pay a quarterback, on top of that, a black quarterback? And I know y'all saying, why you got that? Because we talking some real stuff here. I want to hear that. A black quarterback, 5 years, $230 million guaranteed. Well, the only reason why a billionaire would pay him that much money is because a billionaire that's in that NFL circle knows that that young man didn't do it. However, if you look back at the Houston Texans didn't want to release that young man. They want to make a mockery out of him. And they thought that, you know, if I'm going to go ahead and hold this dude for these years, when I'm finally done making a mockery of him, making him sweat over sexual assault allegations and all, and making up chumped up charges and all that, after I make him sweat, one of these owners is going to get greedy and want to get him. So they're saying that the Cleveland Browns went ahead and gave him $230 million for 5 years and 5 different draft picks. Y'all look into that. Y'all look and tell me which rankings they were. I think a couple of them were some high rankings. And then a 5th rounder, a couple 2nd rounders. Why would an owner, why would a team give a young man that is going through sexual allegations, supposedly, because we never heard or seen none of these people that's alleging that he did something to them? None of them. Again, some old fable-ass news report controlled by the media sources out of Houston. You know how the game is ran. This white supremacy. Why would a owner take a chance on a young, black, up-and-coming quarterback, great quarterback, by the way, and just give him $230 million for 5 years guaranteed if you think he has a sexual assault case out there? You really would do that? Leave your comments. Leave your comments. Hit the like button. Would you do that? No, but they gave him that money out of Cleveland because they believe in this young man. They know that young man didn't do that. You see the picture of him and his mother? She raised that man to be a good young man. Deshaun Watson went ahead and said, yes, I need to earn the trust back from my community. You're absolutely right, Deshaun. You need to earn the trust back. Not because you did something wrong, young man, because you didn't. But I see how you got to say that in the news so they can cherry pick off it. Yeah, you need to build your image back up. And may the Cleveland organization help you with that. You get you a PR and stuff. You know you didn't do it. So the light will come through. You're going to shine. But yeah, you need to change your image on that part. But I want you to hold your head high like you did today during the news conference. They wanted to break you in front of people. They wanted to buck you. That's why they had the news conference. They wanted to see if your eyes would get watery. Because you didn't think you would play again. But you kept your faith, your spirit, your energy was good all this time, young man. I sat back and watched from a distance. And we salute you here at Coffee Talk Podcast. I tell you that, young man. We salute your mother as well, your family as well, your father as well. You can see the technology all through the bullshit today. So they go ahead and they send a sports reporter by the name of Kimberly Martin, a sister. You know, ain't that some crazy shit? They send the sister reporter there, and it looks all normal because y'all don't got your third eye open. You ain't looking at what it really is. But then they want to ask the sister questions so that the sister can do the Me Too movement responses. You know, because we living in a time right now where they want to put an asterisk next to every black athlete, every black entertainer. As if we're rapists and all this other shit. We got the most beautiful women in the world. In the world. The original woman. I'm not saying that rape don't go on in all colors and genders or whatever you want to call that. That ignorance. But let me tell you something, man. Black men ain't really into taking no punani. We have multiple colors of beautiful women. Smart, intelligent women. We don't got to do that. But this media giant wants us to look like that. Let's continue with the tea on this McNair family. And I'm going to show you why you could tell that they was holding this brother, Deshaun Watson. Let's go. So, more allegations was this about Bob McNair and Cal McNair. It's been whispered in pro football circles that McNair prefers white quarterbacks to black ones. If true, that would explain his apparent outrage over Kaepernick's protest of social justice for black people in America and its lasting effects on the league, which is about 70% black. The quarterback position has been typically occupied by white players. His son, Cal McNair, has some racist undertones in his communication. Cal McNair stated, according to Bally Sports' Mike Silver, Houston, Texas owner, because he's the owner now, Bob McNair done passed on. But these racial undertones has been in this family for a long time. I ain't making this up. We could call it alleged, but we also could pull out the tea. Cal McNair, according to Bally Sports' Mike Silver, Houston Texans owner Cal McNair recently used an anti-Asian slur during the team's charity golf tournament in May, which made the audience uncomfortable and upset numerous Texans employees, according to witnesses. The Texans have grown accustomed to problems in 2021. First, there was the Jack Easterby saga, which led to Deshaun Watson asking to be traded. Later, Deshaun Watson was involved in accusations of sexual assault by more than 20 women, with the civil process still ongoing. Watson isn't playing, and it looks like more issues are coming for the Texans. Cal McNair used an anti-Asian slur during a Texas event. The Texas brass can't help themselves. McNair, who became the team owner after his father Bob died in 2018, said that the golf charity event couldn't happen last year because of the China virus, an explicit and racially insensitive reference to the coronavirus. According to one witness at the event who spoke with Mike Silver, everyone grasped, especially the people directly across from him. He and his wife, Hannah, seemed to think it was hilarious. It was dead silent. McNair apologized, just like his father, apologized for the remarks in a statement sent by Bally Sports via a team spokesman on Tuesday. My comments at the event last May included an inappropriate choice of words, he states. I immediately apologized to people who approached me. Then I apologize again now. I know how important it is to choose my words carefully. I would never want to offend anyone. McNair's family has a history of insensitive remarks. It's not the first time the McNair family has been in the spotlight for the wrong reasons, and it's also not the first time they have made an insensitive remark. So you mean to tell me that Deshaun Watson just fell off? This brother was an all-pro quarterback, top 1 through 3 quarterback, and he just fell off the last few years? No. It was because he was a Pro Bowl quarterback that decided he didn't want to play for his team no more. But being that he is a black quarterback, they took it as, no, you're not going to just go ahead and quit on us. You're not going to just go ahead and quit on us. That type of mentality. This is why what we talk about when we encourage people that read or that are in the sports to go ahead and get the book, the $40 Million Slave. You have to start taking a look at how this whole shit plays out. I don't even like sports the same way that I used to. That book right there in the upper right-hand corner. Get that book for $15 from Amazon or any place that sells a books. It's called A $40 Million Slaves, The Rise, the Fall, and the Redemption of the Black Athlete by author William C. Roden. So now Deshaun Watson, like I have stated, has finally been able to be released from the Houston Texans and the McNair family. And he's traded for a boatload. That's how you know there was a bunch of bullshit in the game. He was traded for a boatload of players. 5 years, $230 million, 5 draft picks. And now all of a sudden, he had his second court hearing and they threw it out. So out of 20, 2 of them has been thrown out. They all going to be thrown out, his lawyer says. So going into the football season for this coming fall, 2022, man, make sure you go out. You support my boy Deshaun Watson, one of the coldest quarterbacks. We happy to see him back in the league, man. And all you brothers that are athletes, man, start to study your culture, man, for real. Get with other brothers that are starting to wake up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make too much money for these people to be treated a certain way, man. You a man first. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's our show for tonight. I thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast. Go ahead and leave a comment about the show. Tell me your thoughts on Deshaun Watson. Tell me your thoughts on Cal McNair, Bob McNair, the McNair family. What stories do you know about them? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Your boy, again, Richard Sherman, said he's grateful for when people like that show themselves. I always said that too. When it comes to racism, just go ahead and show it. Don't be behind that fake love shit. And please excuse my French to some of my viewers, but y'all know me. Y'all know Dot. Y'all know SABA. I cuss on my show because this show is for us. And sometimes that's just what happens. But anyway, thank you for tuning into the show, Coffee Talk Podcast. This is your Friday edition. And look, there might be a surprise tonight. The men's edition may be coming on tonight. I'll let y'all know. Y'all stay tuned to that. We're still working on guests. And we'll be back tonight to have some fun, some laughter, some humor, and just have y'all cracking up. You know what I'm saying? And definitely it's men's night. So again, thank you for the Cleveland Browns giving that young man, Deshaun Watson, the opportunity, also giving him a bag and just believing in that young man and his family. We definitely want to give our shots out to the Cleveland Browns on their behalf of that. And we just want to thank you viewers, man, for continually to tune into our show. You know, our show is different, man. If you thinking it's somebody else's show or this or that, man, it ain't that type of show. This is your Coffee Talk Podcast, cultural variety podcast show. You understand? We're a variety podcast show, and we give you all the flavor. This is your host. I am MISHUMA SABA, M.SABA, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We out of here. Peace.